Experiments were carried out in a small chemistry laboratory in Glasgow, Scotland. He used stopwatches or mechanical timers to measure the rate of gas flow. He also used gas collection vessels and balances to measure mass and time. Graham allowed the gas to diffuse into the surrounded air. By timing how fast each gas diffused, he discovered that lighter gases move faster than heavier ones. Some difficulties he faced was controlling temperature, and the air pressure was a major challenge since even a small change affected any result. No modern ventilation system or protective equipment were available, so that means he was inhaling a lot of these bad fumes for him. And the lab used flammable and toxic gases such as hydrogen and carbon monoxide, and graphing results was done manually, increasing the chances of mistake. Original motivation. At the time, aka during the 1820s and 1840s, scientists knew gases had different densities and masses, but they didn't understand why some were spreading faster than the others. The discovery was intentional. Industries, especially gas manufacturers and chemical processing, were trying to understand diffusion since it improved efficiency and safety. Chemists and physicists who needed to predict gas behavior in reactions and mixtures were also the reason why Graham's law was discovered. Original benefits. It helped chemists predict and compare how gases behave in mixtures or chemical reactions. Graham's work straightened the link between chemists and physics, inspiring more data-driven approaches in both. It allowed scientists to calculate diffusion and infusion rates for gases more accurately, along with it contributing to medicine and to understanding how gas exchanges in the human body, influencing early respiratory research. And it also laid groundwork for isotope separation techniques later used in nuclear research. The modern process. Experiments are often done in sealed chambers connected to computers for real-time data collection. Pressure and temperature sensors are linked to the computer systems, and laser-based detectors are tracking the gas movements at the molecular level. The gas is allowed to diffuse into another chamber or through a membrane, while sensors measure changes in pressure and concentration. The results are graphed digitally, and multiple trials are conducted for high accuracy. Some modern differences are today's experiments use precise electronic instruments instead of handmade glass tubes. Labs are equipped with ventilation systems, gas sensors, and automatic shut-off valves to prevent leaks. Sensors transmit readings directly to computers or cloud system for instant visualization. Multiple gases can be studied simultaneously, giving more comprehensive and reliable data. Data is analyzed using simulation softwares like MATLAB or LabVIEW for greater accuracy. Some modern benefits are that it helps engineers design safer gas systems by predicting how gases spread and mix. In medicine, it supports research on respiratory function, gas exchange, and anesthesia delivery. In nuclear physics, it's applied in isotope separation. Uranium isotope enrichment using gaseous diffusion, which is the key to nuclear energy research. And breath analyzers and air quality monitors that detect traces with precision. Some future expectations are refine gas diffusion models to make them more accurate at the nanoscope level. Use Graham's law principles to enhance clean energy technologies such as hydrogen fuel cells and carbon capture systems. Reducing air pollution thanks to better monitoring and filtering systems. Cleaner energy through more efficient hydrogen production and storage.
Hi, my name is LaToisha Nixon, and our project is going to be over the Graham's Law. The original process of Graham's Law, the original process for demonstrating Graham's Law involved observing diffusion of gases through a porous barrier or a long tube to compare their rates of movement. This was done using plaster plugs or fine tubes. Some of the original difficulties that they had arose from the original method of measuring diffusion, which was more difficult to control than effusion. The experiment setup involved gases mixing into the air, which introduced challenges, making it difficult to get precise, repeatable results. The original motivation for the experiment was to investigate an observation made by chemist Johann Dobereiner. The experiment was driven by Graham's interest to quantify the phenomenon of gas diffusion, understand the mechanisms of gas movement, explore the potential for separating gas, and use the information to explore other things. The benefits were the original benefits of the experiment laid the foundation for understanding the behavior of gases, leading to advancements in theoretical and applied chemistry. Some of the key benefits are the demonstration of the relationship between mass and speed, a new method for determining molar mass, confirmation of the kinetic theory of gas, and proof of gas separation by diffusion. The modern process, which is the process that we currently use, is the Graham's law experiment using ammonia and hydrochloric acid is still the standard. Advancements in laboratory equipment also allow for alternative experiments on gas diffusion. The improved version of the traditional experiment uses a long glass tube with precise measurements. The experiment can also be conducted with syringes. So the differences between the modern and the original, and there are several differences between them. Now there are some more controlled setups, like using syringes with small needles, using digital tools for precise measurements, and computer software can now be used to analyze data. Experiments are now more carefully controlled to isolate their effusion or diffusion. So the modern benefits, and again there are several across different genres of the Graham's law experiment. In nuclear technology, we have isotope separation and production of enriched uranium. In the medical and analytical fields, we have gas chromatography and respiratory gas exchange. In foundational education, it connects theory and practice, promotes quantitative reasoning, and illustrates molecular concepts. So, future expectations. Some of the future expectations of the experiment are centered around the foundational role in gas separation technologies. These technologies include industrial gas processes, nuclear industry advancements, medical gas applications, carbon capture and storage, and hydrogen economy.
My part, original processes, that's my slide. It says experiments were carried out in the mid-19th century by Thomas Graham in Glasgow, Scotland. The laboratory was simple, using open flame in daylight with no ventilation or electronic instruments. Equipment included a Potter's pot, YouTube manometer, bell jar, and stopwatch to record. Alright, so for my original process, it says experiments were carried out in the mid-19th century by Thomas Graham in Glasgow, Scotland. The laboratory was simple, using open flame in daylight with no ventilation or electronic instruments. Equipment included a Potter's pot, YouTube manometer, bell jar, and stopwatch to record pressure changes. The porous pot was connected to the manometer and placed under a bell jar filled with hydrogen or carbon dioxide gas. As gases diffused through the pot's walls, the manometer indicated pressure changes. Lighter gases like hydrogen moved faster, causing the internal pressure to rise. Graham compared these pressure rates and discovered that the diffusion rate is inversely proportional to the square root of each gas molar mass, forming the basis of Graham's. For original difficulties, One major hurdle was maintaining stable temperature and pressure. Early labs didn't have controlled environments, so drafts and heat changes affected results. Safety was also a problem since Graham used hydrogen gas near open flames, creating a risk of small explosions or burns. Equipment leaks common because the porous pot and manometer connections were sealed by hand with wax or rubber stoppers. Impurities in gases made results inconsistent since hydrogen or carbon dioxide were created from chemical reactions instead of stored cylinders. Recording and processing data was done manually with stopwatches and by observing manometers levels, which led to small timing and reading errors. Okay, original motivation. Thomas Graham's main goal was to understand how gases move and mix, especially how lighter and heavier gases behave differently. Especially intentional, he designed experiments specifically to measure how fast different gases diffuse through barriers like porous spots. Graham wanted to find a mathematical relationship between gas speed and mass, which later became known as Graham's law. The discovery helped chemists and engineers explain gas behavior in natural and industrial processes, such as air mixing, respiration, and chemical manufacturing. Scientists studying chemical reactions, air composition, and material science were expected to benefit most from his findings. Original benefits. Thomas Graham's main goal was to understand how gases move and mix, especially how lighter and heavier gases behave differently. His discovery was intentional because he designed experiments to measure how fast different gases diffuse through barriers like porous pots. Graham wanted to find a mathematical relationship between gas speed and mass, which later became known as Graham's law. The discovery helped chemists and engineers explain gas behavior in natural and industrial processes such as air mixing, respiration, and chemical manufacturing. Scientists studying chemical reactions, air composition, and material science were expected to benefit from most of his findings. Modern processes. Modern experiments testing with Graham's law are carried out in controlled chemistry laboratories with digital technology. The lab environment is equipped with ventilation system, gas sensors, and temperature control chambers to ensure safety and consistency. Modern equipment includes gas diffusion tubes, precision mass, spectrometers, and electronic timers to measure diffusion rates accurately. Data is collected using computer software that records gas movement and calculates molar masses automatically. Digital pressure sensors are infrared detectors replace manual manometers and stopwatches used in older experiments. The process still demonstrates that lighter gas diffuse faster than heavier ones, but now measurements are faster, safer, and more precise. Current benefits. Research on gas diffusion helps improve technologies that rely on understanding how gases move and mix. Modern benefits include safer and more efficient chemical plants, better environment monitoring, and improved air quality testing. Fields such as medicine, aerospace, and environmental science use diffusion principles for applications like oxygen delivery, fuel systems, and pollution control. Technology developed from this research includes gas sensor, air filtration systems, and industrial leak detectors that prevent accidents and save energy. Graham's law continues to influence material science, helping researchers create advanced membranes and nanomaterials for separating gases. Okay, now for future expectations. Scientists aim to continue improving the accuracy of gas diffusion research through advanced sensors, nanotechnology, and computer simulation. Future experiments may explore how gas movement changes in extreme environments such as outer space or deep sea conditions. The data could help design better life support systems, energy efficient engines, and new materials for gas storage and separation. As environmental awareness grows, diffusion studies will play a key role in reducing pollution and developing clean air technology. Continued research on diffusion may also benefit fields like medicine, helping to create more efficient oxygen delivery systems or drug inhalers. Source.
Modern differences. Modern chemistry has evolved far beyond early 19th century experiments. Automatic instruments. Modern experiments using computer-controlled gases. Modern laboratory emphasize safety as a core principle. This level of information shares and automatically ensures reproduction and can prove of foundational discoveries. Modern benefits. Today's scientists can study gas diffusion at the molecular level using advanced technologies such as laser-based sensors and computer simulations. Modern labs are equipped with fume hoods, ventilation system, gloves, goggles, and gas detectors to ensure safety. It predicts future goals for scientists. Develop zero emissions that neutralize pollutions, replace rare platinum with sustainable nanomaterials, create self-healing catastrophics that restore their structural during use, and using AI computering to simulate catastrophic reactions before experimentations.